Hello guys, welcome to the Tech Architect, and this video is a part of the previous video, that is Azure Compute Options. And we covered the Azure virtual machines. Now in this video I will explore the containers option, containers in Azure. So what is the container? Container, it is used to run multiple instances of an application on single host machine. Containers are the excellent choice. The container orchestrator can start, stop, and scale out applications instances as needed. It is modified runtime environment but on top of the host OS that executes your applications and does not use the virtualization, so it does not waste resources simulating. Containers are more lightweight than VMs, can run multiple isolated applications on single container host. Azure supports Docker containers, a standardized container model. Containers in Azure. Uh, Containers in Azure support Docker containers, which is a standardized container model, and there are several ways to manage the containers in Azure, like Azure Container Instances ACI is the fastest and simplest way to upload your to run a container in Azure. It is a PaaS offering that allows you to upload your containers and execute them directly with automatic elastic scale. The other one is the Azure Kubernetes Service AKS. It's the automating, managing, and interacting with a large number of containers is known as orchestration. AKS is a complete orchestration server for containers with distributed architecture with multiple containers. So, uh, using containers in your solution. Containers are often used to create solutions using a micro architecture. So what is microservice? Microservice, this architecture is where you break solutions into smaller independent pieces. You may split a website into a container hosting your front end, another hosting your back end, and the third is for storage. This split allows you to separate portions of your app into a logical sections that can be maintained, scaled, or uploaded or updated independently. So migrating apps to containers, in this figure you can see uh, uh, you can convert your existing application to one or more containers and then push one or more container images to the Azure container registry. By using the Azure portal or command line, you deploy the containers to an AKS cluster. Azure AD controls access to AKS resources. You access SLA backed Azure services such as Azure Database for Microsoft, for MySQL and OSDBA. Uh, Optionally, AKS is deployed with a virtual network. The next thing is, what is app service? App service, you can build and host web apps, backend jobs, mobile backends in any programming languages without managing infrastructures. It offers automatic scaling and high availability and supports both Windows and Linux OS. It also enables automated deployments from GitHub, Azure DevOps, and any Git repo to support a continuous deployment model, and allows you to focus on the website and API logic while Azure handles the infrastructure for your web applications. App service costs. You can pay for Azure compute resources your app uses while it processes requests based on an app service plan. The next thing is the types of web apps. The types of the web apps. Web apps include full support for hosting web app and using ASP.NET, ASP.NET Core, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, or Python. Windows or Linux as a host operating system. And the next is API app. It is a much like hosting a website, can build REST-based web APIs using your choice of language and a framework. Ability to package and publish your API in Azure Marketplace. Places. Web jobs. It allows you to run program.exe, Java, PHP, Python, or Node.js or script.cmd.bat, PowerShell, or Bash. It runs background tasks as part of your application logic. The next is the mobile apps. Quickly builds a backend for iOS and Android apps and store mobile app data in cloud-based SQL database, then authenticate customers against common social providers such as MSA, Google, Twitter, and Facebook. Send push notifications, execute custom backend logic in hash, C hash, or Node.js. The last option in Azure Compute is the serverless computing. What is serverless computing? It is an abstraction of the server's infrastructure and operating systems. Azure takes care of managing the server infrastructure and deallocation of resources based on demand. Scaling and performance are handled automatically, and you are billed only for the exact resource you use. Serverless computing encompasses three ideas: abstraction of servers. Each function execution can run on different compute instance. The execution context is transparent to the code. With the serverless architecture deployed, your code runs with a high availability. The second is the event-driven scale. Instead of writing an entire application, the developer authors a function which contains both code and metadata about its triggers and bindings. The platform automatically schedules the function and to run and scale the number of compute instances based on the rate of the incoming events. The third component is the micro billing. With the serverless computing, they pay only for the time their code runs. If no active function execution occurs, they have no charge. If the code runs once a day for 2 minutes, they are charged for one execution or 2 minutes computing time. The next thing is Azure has the two implementation of serverless computing: Azure Functions and Azure Logic Apps. Azure Functions. What are the Azure Functions? Azure Function, it can execute code in almost any modern language. It is key component of serverless computing. Azure Function scales automatically based on the demand, so it is solid choice when demand is variable. Commonly used when you need to perform work in response to an event. What is Azure Logic Apps? Azure Logic Apps are designed in web-based designer and can execute logic triggered by Azure Server services without writing any code. Logic Apps execute workflows designed to automate business scenarios built from predefined logic blocks. Create Logic App workflow using a virtual designer on Azure portal or in Virtual Studio. Workflows are persisted as a JSON file with a known workflow schema. Azure provides over 200 different connectors and processing blocks to interact with the different services in the Logic app. So these were all the Azure computing compute options, as we discussed, like VMs. These are the VMs, containers, serverless computing, and I discussed these are the detail. And for the next topic, I will tell the next topic. So, bye for now. Thank you.